Hi everyone, Ichibu here. I want to begin by first and foremost thank all of you that have been tapping down there, subscribing, leaving out your comments and liking. Please keep doing that, and most importantly, ensure that you get someone, your family member, your friend, or someone in your friend circle or workplace. Please get me someone to subscribe, like and comment. You can even dislike, we don't mind. If you don't like what we're saying here, please dislike, but most importantly, do take time to listen. I want to thank all of you that have been doing this, and I want to call out for those who haven't been doing this or those who are watching for the first time. This is Eugene Chibu Chibu Outbox. I have with me today someone that matters so much to me, not because of what his face looks like, but because of what he represents, because of what he is. And that person is here with me. I'll give him a chance to introduce himself. He represents the youth in Africa. He represents the African youth. And that is why we are going to be talking about the African youth and land. With that said, I want to welcome Mr. Antoine. But Antoine, please, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prof. And I'm really happy to be here on your channel. And then I'm Innocent Antoine Houedji. I'm the Executive Director of Youth Initiative for Land in Africa. So, and also alumni of NELGA. So, and I'm doing a lot of other things, but I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Yeah, he's just mentioned that he's alumni of NELGA, and I would like to give a shout out to NELGA, the Network of Excellence in Land Governance in Africa. I'd like to give a shout out to YILAA. YILAA is what Antoine represents. I'd like to give a shout out to all youth, all African youths. And we are here in Accra, Ghana, where there is a conference for the NELGA alumni, and Antoine happens to be one of them. I'm not a youth. I'm not sure I look like one. These days, as far as I know, youths don't have bald head, and except exceptional youths, if I might say that. But I happen to have the privilege and the opportunity to participate in this conference, where I've been able to interact with youth in Africa, both from the West, South, North, Central Africa, East. I've been able to interact with them, and that's why we are having this discussion, or rather, why we are here to discuss youth matters with regards to land in the continent. And so, Antoine, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Prof.
The youth way. Okay. So that said, so it's a conversation, and I wish that all of you who are out there can also join the conversation. One of the things I'd like to ask Antoine is, first and foremost, every time we hear about youth and land, and I'm thinking, what has the youth got to do with land? I mean, I would think that youth are young people, right? And young people normally should inherit land from their parents if their parents have land. And also in the customary system in many African countries, at least in the sub-Saharan African countries, the customary system allows for access for the youth. I believe you tell me if I'm wrong, to get land if it is available, and most times the land is available in communities. So what is this about the youth and land?
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof. First of all, the youths sometimes have access to the land through the parents. That is what we have, the culture in Africa. But the very important thing is, when the parents have the land, who will take care of this land in the future? Is the children. So these children, if they don't have all the skill to manage the land like the parents are managing, so something is wrong. Because we need to start. If you have your child, you need to start teach to your child how to manage those things, and then when you are not there, he can have this ability to manage very well, to conserve the land, to use the land to produce crops and whatever. But today we say no, the young people don't have possibility to get in the land system, so it's something that we are not preparing the future. And one day we can say that the young people are selling. You see, nowadays you see that many young people are selling the land, but we need to conserve the land, to use this land to produce some crops and use it for agriculture.
Look, you've displaced me.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking about the young people having the ability or the skills to manage the land.
Yeah.
The young people aren't even at home. Are they? I mean, in today's world we live in, most young people leave home or leave the village to the city even before they become adults. So I'm trying to understand.
That is the challenge. That is one of the challenge. If they don't have these facilities to get some, let's say, some land to develop agriculture, to have some abilities, to have those training, to know the importance of the land in the village, you agree with me that they will leave the village and go to the town, because going to the town they will make money and also find another job to do. But the very important thing is, you know, the first important, or let's say the best capacity that we have in Africa is the land and natural resources. So we need to value them and then show this value to our children so that they can take care. They can use that to make money, to produce them agricultural crops. So it's something that we need to show. We need to teach to the young generation. So sometimes when the people are asking me questions and say the young people don't need to involve in the land, I'm telling, what are you leaving to the young generation? How are you train them? How are you teach them to take care of this land, this mother, we call Mother Africa. This Mother Africa, what are you leaving to the future generation so that they can manage very well as you are managing now?
Look, I appreciate all what you've said with regards to the need for the youth to get access to land and what they can do with it. But I also think that, or rather not my thinking, but it's a question. Don't you think you're over-romanticizing the idea of agriculture? You know, as if the youth actually want to do agriculture. Because the last time I checked, I mean, I'm not a youth anymore, but when I was a youth, I could have gone back to the village and asked for land, you know, to farm, and there was no time for that, and it wasn't actually something I looked up to. Parents and guardians are busy trying to tell their kids to be medical doctors, to be lawyers, to be engineers and all that, and many a times, I mean, I'm talking about African parents,
Yeah.
many a times they are not talking about their children being this within the context of living a sustainable you know, life in the village or within an agrarian area. So when you talk about agriculture in the way you've spoken about it as the savior and what the youth should engage in, and implying that it's one of the core reasons the youth should have access to land, one wonders if you're not over-romanticizing it. Do you think? What do you think? Do you think? I think that many youths probably don't want to get into agriculture.
I think, you know, when you look at a little bit the population of Africa, you will see that the population of Africa is really young. So we need to use that as opportunities and then involve them in agriculture so that we can have an value about this agriculture that we are developing in Africa. So when you look at a little bit also the statistics, you will see that most of the farmers right now in Africa, they are old. So we need to prepare the next generation to take over, to start thinking about these issues, and then also prepare the future for them. So it's quite interesting that based on these two reasons, we start doing something and involve the young people in agriculture.
I'll take that. Thanks very much for clearing that part. My next question would be actually with regards to climate change. It's something that is talked about anyway, everywhere you go. And these days I read in literature and even from activities and awareness being created at national and regional levels about youth and climate change. So my question then would be, how are climate change and environmental degradation issues, how are they related to youth access to land?
Yes, first of all, what we can know, the climate issues is effective in Africa and also effective in our different countries. And then, we are motivating young people to get in agriculture. And in the same time, they have the degraded land, they have the issues of climate change. How, when they start the agriculture project, how they can get in benefit, how they can benefit from this agriculture if they have some issues of land degradation of land, they have the climate issues, they have drought issues, they don't have water, they have many issues of climate change. So we need to mitigate these issues and make sure that we find a solution that the young people will have this motivation, continue to believe that agriculture can be something very better for them based on this land that they get this land, and then now they have the possibility to work easily. Okay, so that is something that we need to look at it. So climate change is effective, and then we need to mitigate that or maybe adapt that to the reality of our agricultural sectors.
Okay, thanks for that once again. And that leads me to you're basically calling for a policy or legal change to accommodate this. And then my next question will be, what specific policy changes or reforms are young leaders like you demanding for to improve the youth access?
So the very important thing is the land policy. So we need to make sure that the land policy take into account the question of youth. That is the first. And the second one, the different implementation plan need to involve the young people so that we can hear what is the intention of the young people, what is the demand of the young people, what is the plan of the young people, what is the dream of the young people. So from there, the policymakers can know how to plan in the benefit of the young people. It's a question of data. It's quite interesting. So in the different policies, we make sure that the policy puts clearly the question of data so that they can have some fund to work on the data related to the youth and land question and climate so that they can take a good decision for the young people. This is very important.
Good. And so I would think that what you're doing here is that you're trying to link the whole discourse to economic empowerment.
Yeah.
So taking that route at this point, how crucial is secure access to land for youth entrepreneurship?
Yeah, secure land for youth entrepreneurship is quite interesting. With one of our partners, we get in one of the projects that they design is a agripreneurship program, and then they forget to put the, let's say, the question of land. They are funding the young people to develop the agricultural project, but they forget to put the question of land, how to secure the land. So 90% of these young agripreneurs, they have issues of land because they have conflict on this land, or maybe they rent this land, but finally the owner of the land refused to continue the contract because they haven't to respect the process of these land tenure securities. So it's quite interesting. We put in the center the question of security before starts agripreneurship. So you see, so the land tenure security is the key and the first element that you need as agripreneurs to start working on before start your project.
What did you call them? Agripreneurs?
Agripreneurs, they are entrepreneurs in the sector of agriculture.
Oh, thanks for that. I appreciate that. And look, I'm quite responsive to what you're saying, and Africa is a youthful continent, and I think land and youth issues very much merge. But you know, the real issue here is getting clarity with regards to how they actually link and why one is important, you know, for the other. So on that basis, I would like to know how crucial is okay, do you think there are any challenges in terms of the voice of the youth when it comes to the land issue?
Yeah, the question of, you know, the challenge starts from the family, first of all, the communities.
Yeah.
So they have their own practice, they have their own culture, the way they are designed, the way they are preparing the young people to get access through many ways. So this is one of the culture. First of all, the culture sometimes don't give the voice to the young people to express themselves in terms of the access to the land.
What sort of culture, for instance? Just an example.
Yeah, for example, when you, for example, in one community, they can say, you still young, let your father die before you will get access to this land.
This is a serious matter.
You see?
You know, as a father, I mean,
So
shouldn't I die before my children get access to the land?
in other culture, that is what is happening. So if you are young people and then you want to talk about the land, it's become another problem for you. So sometimes when the young people in a village, they don't have capacity to get this access, sometimes you see they leave the village and continue getting another job in the urban.
Yeah, but don't you think, I mean, this is an issue of inheritance?
Yeah.
Or is it not?
Yeah, it's the issue.
I mean, shouldn't inheritance happen after the death of parents?
Yeah, it's normal, but when the parent is there, normally it will be easier to the parent to give the portion of land. Sometimes it's okay, but in another way, the parent can refuse to give you because of this reason or others. So it's depends.
Okay, let's be careful here because when we talk about youth,
Yeah.
I guess because it sounds more as if you are saying
Yeah.
that the parents should share the land while they are alive, right?
Yeah.
With their kids. But I would think that it's a matter of the life course of the youth. You know, there are youth based on African Union definition. You know, I think is 35 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I can understand a 30-year-old, 25 to 30-year-old probably needs a house and all that makes sense. But you know, a 16, 17-year-old probably is still under the house of the parents. So I guess you're not trying to say that those very young people should be given land.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that and for that clarity. So, in your position as YILAA chief executive, what role has national and international organizations and actors been playing in supporting youth, land access?
Yeah, the role that they are playing, first of all, is a role to support the advocacy work.
Okay.
Yeah, the advocacy work related to the traditional authorities, first of all, because we have a forum of traditional authorities in Africa called FATA. So they are playing the role to bring the traditional authorities together and let them know clearly how it's very crucial to start talking about this question, and then they can facilitate how to change a little bit, to change the narrative, so that even if you are young, even if you are women, so you can get the facilities to not only have access, but take control of the land.
No, I appreciate that.
That is something.
And perhaps before we close, you can tell our audience a little bit about YILAA, your organization.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. YILAA is Youth Initiative for Land in Africa, YILAA, and we make sure to promote and defend women and youth land rights in Africa. And right now we have a representative in 31 countries across Africa. And then we are working closely with different stakeholders like institution, regional institution, international institution, national institution also. And make sure that some of the challenge like training and capacity building, research, data, collect the voice of the young people, make sure that these different challenges get solutions. So from there we have many kind of programs. The first program is International Youth Land Governance Conference, and the second is YILAA Training Center, where we are training physically, webinar series, and also have online training, so e-learning program. And also in terms of research, we have data for youth land access. We are collecting data and then we write the report about that. And the last one that we set up is the Youth and Land Max, the HOTA platform, which is the platform that we initiate together with African Union, Landesa, IGAT, and International Land Coalition to put the synergy together, the resource together, the competencies together, so that we can have more impact across the Africa countries.
Thanks very much. IGAD, Landesa, these are key stakeholders in the land sector, or key players, in Africa's land sector. So for you to be working with them, you're really working with, the organizations that have very in-depth engagement on these issues. And on that basis, I would like to know what the vision is for the future in terms of youth and land in the continent.
The vision is collect land for the young people and let them have easier possibilities to use this land to develop some agriculture projects, climate projects, and also other projects. So that is the very important vision that we have. So that why you will see that now we start some practical projects in the community level, and many of our young people will start some project at the ground and at the community level, so that we can have more impact and change the narrative, So the question is how to change the narrative. So the vision is changing the narrative so that one day we cannot hear that someone said the African land.
That's serious.
So that is.
Did you hear that? Please say that again.
Yeah.
That's so that.
So we want to change the narrative so that one day we cannot hear that someone said the African land to other people.
So these youth, they want to safeguard our continent so that one day we do not hear that someone sold Africa or African land.
Yeah.
That brings me to the next question.
Okay.
Some of us believe that the land is sold.
No.
That's interesting.
We have a limited resources, so we need to know how to manage. We don't need to continue to use the land the way we are using. And then when you look at right now, you see, in our communities, when you give the land to, we get the testimonials from the chief. Mm-hmm. And the chief say, the traditional authorities, they say, yes, we have all the facility to give land to the young people, but why we are refusing now to give them the land? Because when we leave them to get access to this land, 1 month, 2 months, they sell this land.
I want to know your honest opinion.
Yeah.
As we are talking about land sellers.
Yeah.
I'm also afraid I don't want Africa to be sold.
Yeah.
But we understand some parts have been sold, right?
Yeah.
In your opinion, who's the most in selling Africa? Who's the biggest seller of Africa? Is it the youth, women, men, governments, or traditional rulers?
I'll tell you.
You must pick one.
No. I'll tell you something. You know, the traditional authorities, they was young people.
They were young people, good.
Okay? And become old, and now they have this possibility to become traditional authorities. So the government people, they was young people because
some of them are still young.
Yeah. So if today we are not preparing the next generation, when they will become the same or they will get the same position with what is happening now, they can sell it.
Who is selling our land? Who is selling our land in Africa?
You know, honestly, we can say that sometimes the government
is the one.
Is the one who is doing that.
Let's stop there.
Yeah.
And what then would be your message to African governments? What is your most urgent message to African governments and policy makers regarding youth and land?
My message to the African government is we need to conserve our land for the very important needs, for the sustainability of our economy and the sustainability of our future generation and the sustainability of our women, because it's quite important that when we need this land to develop some projects, so we have the possibility to get it freely, not in the way they can say, no, you don't have land here. Even if normally it's the government who will facilitate the access to this land. Example, the public land.
Yes.
The government need to put some strategy so that the young people, the women can have access to the public land to develop some project on it. So this message is quite important for us. Government, you need to help us to get access to this land, to use it in the proper way so that we can build the very sustainable future for the future generation.
That's emphatic, that's authoritative, and that's quite deep. Thanks for that message. Hey, government, Mr. Meme, Coco, Dida, Mama, Papa, Governor, President, Cheerleader, Chairman, Chairperson, local authority, state government, federal government, we are saying, oh, sorry, you've just been accused. You are the biggest sellers of African land, and the youth are saying that you should stop and do the best to preserve the future of African land by ensuring that the youth have access to it, that our women have access to it for what is best for the purpose of Africa. That's the message. And thank you very much for this. With that said, I would like to thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a great period, chatting with you, and the message has been very emphatic, and I appreciate that. With that said, I would like to thank everyone who's there, who works for the youth, everyone who works for women, everyone who works for land, and ensuring that African land is preserved. Please do not forget, Antoine is from YILAA, and if you're a youth and you're not part of Africa, YILAA is in 31 countries in Africa. If you're a youth and you're not part of YILAA, please check the screen. There's the contact for YILAA, the website for YILAA. You can join. YILAA is a Pan-African youth land organization, and Antoine is the CEO, and there are others that I do know, and you can join the campaign to save the land for Africa. So thanks for that, and before you leave, please, as usual, tap down the button, the subscribe button, and subscribe for this channel if you have not already. If you have, I want to thank you with all my heart, and if you haven't, I want to beg you with all my heart to subscribe. With that said, I'd like to call you out for the day. Thanks very much, and bye.